Well, good afternoon, everybody. What's going on? My name is Tito with Aloha Android, and yes, Saturday Tech Day, episode 5. Um, Today, basically, I had to do the stream today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be like super busy. I'm not going to have time to do a pre-recorded video or anything like that. So I figured I would go ahead and stream today, just if anyone wanted to tune in and watch live or catch the replay on YouTube, whichever. Don't really matter. So, anyways, a couple of things to discuss. First thing I want to talk about is Virgin Mobile. Well, this and the next topic is both about Virgin Mobile, but this one is more of Sprint luring Virgin Mobile customers to a postpaid plan. And how they're exactly doing it is they're offering Virgin Mobile customers the choice to join Sprint under Sprint postpaid, and you would be able to lease a Samsung Galaxy S6. Now, some people may jump on it because, of course, you're getting, the Galaxy S6 basically, and people think phones. But here's my problem with that. Let's say someone that's a Virgin Mobile customer actually does decide to take this plan. So they jump over to Sprint. They do a contract with them. They lease the Galaxy S6, and they go on the individual plan because you can't come over and start a family plan. You only can come over and do an individual plan. And so Sprint has a $60 unlimited talk, unlimited text, 1 gig of data that most likely people would go for. So with taxes and everything, you're looking at about $80 a month on Sprint. You get the Galaxy S6, and with the Galaxy S6, you technically aren't leasing it to own it, because by the end of the 2 years, you would not have paid off the full amount of the device. And there's no option for you to actually pay off the device so you can own it. So after your 2 years is up, you can either lease another phone on your account and use that, or you can continue leasing the Galaxy S6 for $20 a month. So the temptation of jumping over to Virgin Mobile seems enticing. It seems good, but the reason that most people choose prepaid is to be on a plan where they don't pay a high amount of taxes and it's a set plan, and you outright buy your device, even though it is kind of subsidized because you're not paying full price for the device. You're still, you still own the device. Whether you choose to remain on the prepaid carrier or not, the phone stays with you. You don't have to give it back. So would this deal, in fact, be something good for people out there? It really depends. I mean, if you're wanting to try postpaid, if you wanted to be on contract and get some of the perks of being on contract, because there are some perks to it. Okay, being on contract is not all bad. It just depends on the user and what they're looking for with their mobile experience, and that's really what it boils down to. So if you're comfortable being on 2-year contract and being leasing a phone for $20 a month plus paying your plan, which is like $60 and then taxes, so we're like $80+ a month, well then by all means, you would never have a problem actually going over to this. But if your intentions was not to be on contract, then what's the point of hopping over just for the Galaxy S6? I mean, you save up your money and you can just actually buy the Galaxy S6 and just use it on prepaid. So yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there for everybody. That's if you don't know about it, or if you got like the message, like this is exactly what you're kind of going into. Don't mind me. There's a phone charging and its notifications is going off. But anyways, yeah, just basically I just want people to understand what they're getting into when it comes to accepting this new deal from Sprint for Virgin Mobile customers. Now, there's no talk of them actually doing this for Boost Mobile or Sprint prepaid, but this is only towards Virgin Mobile customers. So kind of curious where they're going with this. So next topic basically has to do with Virgin Mobile's new plans. This was actually already done by Storm 804 VA, who's formerly, he was known by that name. Right now, his current username is the LGG Stylo user HD. He actually put this video out, I think like a week or two ago, about a week ago. So I just wanted to give his video time before I actually spoke on it. And yeah, definitely check out his video if you guys want to listen to what he has to say about the plans. But the plans are pretty much straightforward. So I got them right here. Let me pull them up so I give you guys accurate information. But a lot of their older plans, the Beyond Talk plans, have been scrapped. So they're no longer doing those Beyond Talk plans. Now they have VirginMobile Unlimited. That's what I believe it is right now. So the new plans are $35 for unlimited talk and text and 1 gig of data. Their second choice is $45 with unlimited talk and text and 3 gigs of data. And then their premium, which is $55, is 8 gigabytes of data, unlimited talk and text. They also changed their $35 plan that they used to have, that gave you 300 minutes and unlimited texting and no data, is now been replaced by a $25 plan, which gives you 500 minutes of talk time, unlimited texting, and no data. So yeah, that's the new plans for VirginMobile, and I really think that I mean, it's a step in the right direction. I just wish they would have given more. I mean, you know, if you go to Boost Mobile, you know, what you would pay, like, you know, $55 a month or whatever, you would get like 2 gigs more. You would get 10 gigs. On the $45 plan, I believe that one's 5 gigs, so that's also 2 gigs more. And then the $35 plan, you get 1 gig. So it's pretty much like their cheapest plan is spot on, you know, with their sister company, Boost Mobile. You get 1 gig of data. They don't offer, like, you know, the auto pay discount. So there's no plan that if you sign up for auto pay, like, you would get like 2 gigs or anything like that. However, they do also have the same thing that Boost Mobile has as far as adding on data packs, $5 for 1 gig and $10 for 2 gig also. So, I mean, some similarities there, but not exactly on par with Boost Mobile. And it's, you know, it's just, for me, it's just kind of weird. Like, you know, going to the next topic, but I really do wish that Sprint would just cut it out with their prepaids. I mean, they have 3 major prepaids underneath them right now. Sprint prepaid being one of them, which I don't even know why they developed that one. You know, I think it's just more of the fact that people that want to be loyal to name brand, they kind of put Sprint prepaid out there, so people would be like, oh, well, it's Sprint, so I'll go with them. So they'll leave VirginMobile and go to Sprint and be on the same network with the same network speeds, just under a different brand name. Same with Boost Mobile, same with VirginMobile. You know, like, when rumor was flying around a year and a half ago, I believe, that they were going to unify the prepaids under Sprint, I was actually for it. I really wish they would do that. It would just make things so much simpler. Like, get rid of VirginMobile, okay? VirginMobile is no longer under Virgin themselves. They're completely owned by Sprint now. They're a Sprint prepaid company. So, just, you know, I know people are, they're drawn by brand names, and I think that's what Sprint is. Like I said, that's what Sprint's going for. You know, Boost Mobile, obviously very popular, like one of the top prepaid cellular providers in the country right now. And VirginMobile has been around for a while. It's been quite popular. They had their weird ads back in the day and whatever, whatnot. I just think that it's time to just simplify and unify. That's what Sprint really should look at. Because at this point right now, whether you love it or hate it, T-Mobile has passed Sprint. So in my eyes and in my books, T-Mobile is number 3 in the country right now, which is kind of sad because we saw them creeping up about 7 months ago. Sprint was still number 3. T-Mobile was dead last, number 4. And with all their Un-carrier moves and things like that, and of course, the CEO, John Ledger, and the things that he's been doing on social media has really brought some massive attention over to T-Mobile. And I think that, you know, if Sprint would kind of get away from the corporate structure, like SoftBank really needs to start listening to people. Forget the fact you're not running a cell phone company like you would in Japan. So let's just get those little ideas out of there. And the guy running the show, was it Marcelo? Rather than having his meltdown against John Ledger and all this other crap on Twitter, I really do think that he should, in a way, kind of look at what John's doing and understand where John's tactics is coming from. John Legere, CEO of T-Mobile, is one with the people. You don't believe me? If you got Periscope, look him up. Look up his Periscope page, follow him, and watch. Watch when he streams on Periscope. This is like an amazing moment to see the CEO of a mobile service provider company in tune with his subscribers, with his customers. Literally, people from T-Mobile jumping on there, praising him for the things, the changes that he's made in T-Mobile. And the most recent one, which I had fun, I was kind of laughing because people posted it on Twitter and were sharing his statement. And he's a no BS type of guy. You know, some people don't like his methods, and there's some things he does that I don't agree with. But in all, the one thing that I do really like about him as a CEO for T-Mobile is that he's in tune with his customers, his subscribers. He will go out of his way. Like the last Periscope he did, he basically said that if you could find him where he was at having coffee, I think he had a couple of iPhone 6s on him, on hand. If you found out where the coffee shop was, where he was at, and you just walked up to him and you screamed out, "I love T-Mobile," he'd put an iPhone 6 in your hand right there on the spot. Okay, like what CEO of a mobile service provider would do that? Like you don't even ever hear the CEO of AT&T say, if you come up and you scream, "I love AT&T, I'm gonna give you a free phone," or "I'll take care of your bill for a whole year," or something like that. You know, like that is why John Legere is like so loved by his T-Mobile subscribers. Things like that he does, or he'll tell you like, you know, if you want to know if the LTE expansion is going to happen in your area, if your signal is going to get better, he will give you his personal email address and he will respond to you personally. There's been people that were on Periscope. Another guy that was on Periscope was talking about making the decision of leaving Verizon Wireless, and he was thinking AT&T or T-Mobile. And John Legere appeared on that guy's Periscope and commented for that guy to contact him to discuss about T-Mobile prices, you know, services and whatnot, whatever. The guy currently today is a T-Mobile customer now. He switched over his family plan from Verizon Wireless to T-Mobile. And he did that basically in communications with the CEO of T-Mobile. Like this is where Marcelo really needs to kind of look at like how John is becoming in tune with his subscribers. Sprint needs to do the same thing, because that is ultimately the reason why people hate Sprint. You know, because T-Mobile does have crappy signal in places, all right? They don't have perfect 4G LTE. Sometimes you get 4G and it's masked behind the fact that it's HSPA+. It's not actually true 4G. But people are happy because they're getting something out of it. They feel like they're actually part of a family. They're part of a team. And if Sprint would do that with their customers, and people would forgive and possibly overlook the fact that certain areas don't get LTE or that the signal is very weak. And I know they can. They have done this before. If you check out Chris Chavez's original YouTube channel, not what he does with Fandroid, but his original channel, when he was with Sprint, they actually took care of him. You know, he had a dead spot where he lived completely, and they sent him out the AirRave, which was like an antenna booster to get signal from the network into your home. And they sent him that free of charge. They waived the activation fee. They waived the service fee. So they added a line to his Sprint plan with the Sprint AirRave, and they didn't charge him a single dime, not even a single penny. And Sprint has lost that with their customers. They don't do things like that anymore. It's like they're so rigid and firm when it comes to their billing that I think is ultimately why people don't give Sprint a chance. They're fed up with the double billing scandal that Sprint had for so long, that even I was a victim of. And their network, you know, obviously they suffered in a bad decision of going WiMAX rather than actually going with LTE like Verizon, AT&T, and now T-Mobile has gone. Because T-Mobile was using HSPA Plus and calling that their 4G network. Sprint went WiMAX. And while WiMAX is a broader signal than what LTE is, so it has a wide range output, It didn't get that accepted by that many people, so therefore Sprint fell way behind building out their 4G network. And because of that, they're suffering, because most Sprint customers were like, AT&T and Verizon had already built out their 4G network. Their LTE network was pretty strong. And so people were like, they didn't want to wait for Sprint to start building out their LTE network because they chose WiMAX in the beginning. So most people just jumped over to Verizon and AT&T. So honestly, I think, like, I don't expect Marcelo to be like John Ledger and go on Periscope and talk with Sprint customers. I mean, that would probably be a good move because it would, definitely show that he is concerned for his customers' thoughts. And at the same time too, like whether it's Periscope, Meerkat, whether it's on Hangouts, wherever, like if Marcelo would just become one with his subscribers, his customers, and listen to what they had to say, listen to their complaints, answer their questions, be out there with the people, I'm pretty sure he can save Sprint from the turmoil it's in right now. Because if you are a T-Mobile subscriber, whether it's prepaid, postpaid, or if you're a Metro PCS customer, it doesn't matter. One of the coolest things that John does right now is that if you shoot him an email that you want one of the T-Mobile shirts, and you give him your shirt size, you won't get it in like 3 to 5 days. Some people have waited a whole month and got it. But the point is, he will send you a T-Mobile T-shirt, which normally you wouldn't be able to find unless you actually worked for a T-Mobile store. So most T-Mobile employees have those shirts, and John Ledger's willing to give you one if you email him at his personal email address. And you could probably talk him into giving you like one of those hoodies that he has, because I mean the dude backs his his brand so much that that's pretty much all he wears is T-Mobile apparel. That's all he ever wears. So if Sprint wants to come back from this drop, take a page out of Mr. Ledger's book, and you might be able to save what customer base you have, and also get rid of these 3 prepaid companies and unify them. I honestly don't care if they change the name of Boost Mobile and just made it all Sprint prepaid. I don't care. Just keep the same services you have for Boost Mobile because they're pretty much on top of it. Merge VirginMobile customers in there, allow their phones actually to be able to jump over to Boost Mobile, which is something that I always found so weird too. It's like they're all under the same umbrella, but I can't use a VirginMobile phone on Boost Mobile. Like they won't allow it. Like that's just ridiculous. They won't allow a Boost Mobile phone on Sprint prepaid. That's just pretty ridiculous when they all have the same phone. You can find an LG Volt across all 3 providers for prepaid, and you can't take one to the other. So if you wanted a white LG Volt, you had to do some serious finesse and probably some bootlegging ideas just to get that white LG Volt on Boost Mobile. So that's crazy. So anyways, the next topic we're going to talk about is Verizon Wireless, and Verizon Wireless basically opening up its doors a little wider when it comes to devices. So basically, in a nutshell, without dragging this out even longer, Verizon is now accepting the fact of activating devices that are not Verizon Wireless devices. And this actually would be something good. And I think a lot of other CDMA providers like Sprint and US Cellular could take a page out of this book. It's no secret that what actually divided AT&T and T-Mobile and Sprint and Verizon Wireless was the networks they used, CDMA and GSM. But because of LTE and its requirement that basically LTE is a GSM signal output, okay? It's not CDMA, which is the reason why that Verizon and Sprint phones had to now come equipped with a slot for a SIM card. It is possible because most devices built today are built on a global standard. So it's not just CDMA only, GSM only. It actually, because of the SIM card, it actually allows both. But you would have to get it unlocked to actually use the full SIM card service. So, say I wanted to bring an AT&T phone over to Verizon, I would be able to, putting in a Verizon SIM card and actually having Verizon activate the SIM card with its full features allows the AT&T phone to function on Verizon's network. Everything would be through the SIM card though. So the CDMA antenna built into the phone would, well, not into the AT&T phone, but you know, the phone itself. The AT&T phone would actually be able to function on the CDMA network through the SIM card only, which is actually pretty cool. So it wouldn't even need to connect to the CDMA network, which means that CDMA signal would be opened up for people who actually use an AT&T device on Verizon. So it is actually possible. You can bring an AT&T device on Verizon. There's just a lot of quirks that have to be done to it. And I'm pretty sure because of that very same reason, you can actually take a Verizon device and put it on AT&T, since it does have GSM antennas as well as a CDMA antenna to capture both different systems. Basically, if you were to take a Verizon device and put it on AT&T, it would only utilize the GSM antenna, which can still bring voice, text, and all that stuff through. So I think it's coming to a point now where it's not really going to matter exactly what phone you have, and the phone will be able to jump on all four carriers if you wanted to switch and try different ones. That would be something pretty neat. For a long time, we're told that it is virtually impossible to do, and a lot of people still kind of believe into that because this thing is new. Opening up and allowing other devices is still a new thing in the world of mobile technology. It's still brand new. There's a lot of stuff we don't know. Like, we would really have to know how to build a smartphone and then take it apart to actually understand its components now. Exactly how does it function? How does it work? And obviously, in layman's terms, basically, that it takes a SIM card obviously means that it has GSM and a CDMA antenna inside CDMA devices like from Sprint and Verizon. Whereas on AT&T, they're GSM built only, so they don't have a CDMA antenna inside there. So there's no reason to worry about bringing that device and having it function on Verizon if Verizon uses both signals, which technically they do. They use their basic signal for CDMA, which is for 3G internet, and they use the SIM card for LTE, which is a GSM signal. So we could see the walls finally knocking down. So anyhow, so game of the week. I want to talk about game of the week and let you guys know what game that I'm actually playing is Angry Birds 2. It's actually quite fun. If you guys haven't tried it out yet, I definitely suggest you should. If you've ever been a fan of Rovio and Angry Birds, you definitely have a lot of fun with this one. A couple of things that I noticed about the gameplay that I got to give credit to is its graphics have really enhanced. I mean, just, how the gameplay is. When you knock down one of the pig's fortress, if you hit it with enough strength, or like if a piece of cement block falls a certain way on the pig or a piece of wood or whatever, it actually launches the pig in 3D towards you. So you see the pig just kind of like pop off the stand and then fly towards you like that. And that's actually pretty fun. I mean, simple. It's not the grandest feature of the game itself, but to have that type of graphics is pretty awesome. It's pretty neat. I think it enhances the experience of gameplay. Also, as each level has anywhere between, right now that I've seen, 3 to 5 stages. So it's not like you choose a level, you knock down, you kill all the pigs, and it's over. Like, no, they're making this harder. So you kill the first batch of pigs in the first stage on level 1, and it moves over to stage 2 of level 1, and then stage 3 of level 1, and that will actually be the final one. And if you beat those 3 stages, you beat level 1. And whether you get 1, 2, or 3 stars, that's still there as to judge how well you played that level. But also, the amount of birds don't sit by the slingshot anymore. You have cards, and in each stage of a particular level. So at every level, either 3 or 5 stages, in each stage, there's a point meter. And if you destroy enough of the fortress to gain yourself, and you fill up that point meter bar, it gives you another card. As the amount of birds you have is based on how much cards you have. So you gain an extra card by racking up points in each stage. If you rack up the point bar on all 3 stages, well then, of course, throughout that level, you will gain 3 birds. If it's 3 stages, 4 birds. If it's 4 stages, you guys get the point. But I think that's actually pretty cool. And also, they have spells. They have these weird spells. You get more spells as you advance through the game, but some of the spells that I've already unlocked, one is where it rains down like all these ducks, I believe it is, like golden ducks, and the ducks destroy the fortress as they fall down from the sky. They hit the fortress, and that kind of helps you out, especially if you're limited on how many birds you have left. There's also a growth enhancement gun, which if you use that spell, it shoots all the pigs with this growth enhancement that makes them grow really big, so big that they tip the fortress, and the fortress just crashes down and kills all the other pigs. There's the jalapeno spell, which turns a pig into a bomb, and when that pig explodes, it takes down the fortress. There's what's another one? There's the eagle, on which basically is like looks like a little salmon pill. When you shoot that spell, of course, the giant eagle flies by to get it, and it shakes the foundation, and all the pigs come falling down. So. Very fun gameplay, very awesome. If you guys haven't played it, check it out. It's in the Google Play Store. Definitely a game that gives you hours and hours of fun. Of course, you can play against friends by linking your Facebook to it, and you can see where your friends are at in any of the worlds that you're in. See their progression. There's another feature, which is Coliseum, where you play in a Coliseum, you play a level, and you can win prizes like feathers. And if you win feathers, basically on the color of the feather that you win, it enhances a particular bird. So like yellow feathers would enhance Chuck, red feathers would enhance Redbird, maroon feathers would enhance Terrence, black ones, the Bombird, and the blue feathers for Bird Trio. And also there is a new bird in this one. They took out an old bird and replaced it with a new one. So you have a silver bird, which replaces the boomerang bird. When you shoot the silver bird, what she does is she'll fly across the screen, and when you tap the screen, she'll do a loop and slam down. Whereas, the boomerang bird, you shot him, he went across the screen, you tapped it, and then he came back like a boomerang and crashed in. So it's kind of similar, just reversed. Rather than it coming back in a hook, it actually loops and slams. So silver bird, and it's a female, it's not a male. So now, besides Stella, now there's Silverbird. I forgot whether they actually named the bird. I think it is Silverbird, but yeah, definitely tons of fun. Check it out in the Google Play Store. That is my game spot of the week for Android game to play. And I don't have an app picked out. I'll do it on the next live stream, but next weekend I'll have a cool app to show you guys as well. So I'm going to have to end this stream right now. So, if you guys caught the event live, thank you for coming in and watching. If you guys catch the replay on YouTube, I know stream quality is not all that great. Sorry, but if you guys give me a thumbs up, thank you for doing so. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click that subscribe button and share this on your social networks and follow me on mine. And I will see you guys next time, next weekend. Hopefully back on the regular schedule Sunday, but if not, I'll try to stream Saturday. Again, my name is Tito with Aloha Android. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Aloha_Android. You guys want to tweet me stuff. Also, if you guys have any personal questions you guys want to ask me in faster timing, I do have Glide. You guys can follow me on Glide and shoot me a video message, and I will respond as soon as possible. And Snapchat, Aloha_Android on Snapchat as well. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching this broadcast. You guys have a great rest of your weekend and happy Labor Day.